Our friends at Microid sent me out a review code for Toki for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm glad that they did because I was curious about this game. It is an arcade game that has been translated to a modern kind of anime kind of vibe to it, and it's a surreal experience because it's very much the classic, in quotations, old arcade game that came out a long time ago, and I vaguely remember it. I don't have this huge, love for this title at all, so it was kind of visiting it for the first time. But what they've done is obviously they put a whole new fresh coat of paint. It all is hand-drawn, hand-animated, and it looks really good. I do like the aesthetic. I like the visuals. I like this hand-drawn kind of art style. Saw something similar with Monster Boy, and it seems to be this phase that's happening with a lot of this retro gaming reinvention that's happening right now. Is they'll take the classic sprite stuff and they'll modernize it all with this hand-drawn kind of aesthetic, hand-animated kind of aesthetic, and it's cool. You play this giant ape, and it is a very, very large ape on the game screen, who shoots and spits stuff out of his mouth, takes care of all kinds of bad guys, and has to go and rescue this woman that's been captured. Clearly, this is based on some dated storytelling in games where you got to go rescue the princess, but it's still fun. One of the cool benefits of playing this game in the modern day is you see these characters that take up so much screen real estate, which is gorgeous, but it's also a little bit problematic because it's a one-hit, you're dead, start again kind of scenario, right? And so you don't have a lot of room to negotiate. Sometimes there's birds flying across and they're shooting at you, or there's little tiny bats that are coming at you, or zombie creatures, zombie gorillas, I guess, that come out of the ground that pop out, and you just don't have a lot of navigational room. You don't have a lot of space to get around things, and it can be a little bit frustrating. It's definitely one of those games where you're going to have to memorize routines and memorize the enemy placement, and you get past them. And it's not a very long game. There's only 6 levels with boss fights at the end of each level. It's an arcade game. It's meant to be a quarter muncher, where you throw in a quarter, you play for a little while, and it's built tough so that you don't beat the game with 1 quarter. The way that they've kind of justified that with the Nintendo Switch version is they've given you a difficulty ramp, so you can go right down to the easy mode, which is actually where they start the game at, is in easy mode, and you can give yourself lots of continues. And I'll tell you what, you're going to use all of those continues, and you're going to use the slightly less difficult settings in there to get anywhere in this title, because it is tough. The tough thing with this game is that it's not necessarily a full-price endeavor, but it's kind of a thin experience, so it's not really worth. I would say that this is a game that's worth around $10 to $15, and if you're super interested in, having a kind of classic arcade type of experience, I think you're going to get some joy out of this. Or if you happen to be a collector of, a lot of this retro stuff, or you have fond memories of Toki, the original game, and you want to play it again, I think you're going to enjoy it as well. I did dig it, but I did find it a little bit, it's certainly no Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, let's put it that way. I'm going to give Toki on the Switch a 6.5 out of 10.